We lay, my love and I, beneath a weeping willow, but now alone I lie, and weep beside the tree, singing, oh, willow, waily, by the tree that weeps with me, singing, oh, willow, waily, till my lover returns to me. We lay, my love and I, beneath a weeping willow, but now alone I lie. For willow I die, for willow I die.
We are haunted, our ghosts a half-memory, impressions or feelings but not images, our memories having form but no substance, an outline with nothing filled in, skin without organs, a sheet with chains dragging behind it and wailing. Oh, how lovely it must be to remember the past on a Sunday, warm and inviting, when the memories of who we were fill up our bodies with sweetness, to remember someone who watched over us, looked after us, fed us our meals and kept our faces tidy and clean, the games that filled the house with laughter and squeals that echoed in the halls until we were told, gently, to control ourselves while we looked at each other in conspiratorial winks like our games were a secret and only we knew the rules. But none of that happened. The fog, once lifted, shows the silhouettes of the ghosts. Our attempt to paint the gray forms red and blue and green is a tonic for a restless night, a way to lie to ourselves about what happened. How could it have been so bad, a matronly figure might ask, if we made it through to the other side unscathed? But did we? Is the twist that we never did. We were born without being asked, lives without consent. A cold spot in our hearts when walking through the old house, a chill like someone carving our grave. And the dreams, why do our dreams always transport us back there? Why the nightly time travel? Why not dreams about yesterday or tomorrow or the home where we live now? Why so long ago? We are always children in our dreams, always running along to school and filled with the same dread as before but magnified because even when we are children in our dreams, our childish naivete is gone and replaced with foreknowledge of the future, of how things turn out. We know what's coming. We are always, always, always children in our dreams, always vulnerable to them. The one who didn't care enough, and the one who cared so much that it suffocated. It drowned us. Why couldn't they let us be us? Were they ashamed? If we were only the product of them, were our successes only theirs? Was nothing left for us? Were our shames, whether we felt ashamed or not, also theirs? Is that why they hated us so much? Is that why we hate them so much? The one who didn't care enough was emotionally distant and provided no model for how to be emotional and deal with emotions and feel emotions and recover from emotions. If the one who didn't care enough was cold, then how could we ever find warmth? Did we find it elsewhere but in a polluted form? The one who didn't care enough was strong and protected us from outsiders, but who protected us from... Fear is not the same as respect. Fear of someone makes that someone a demon, not a king. The one who cared too much wanted us to be smaller, incomplete versions of them, a trip through time in new bodies to right the wrongs of their pasts by imprinting those wrongs on us and having us live their lives over again. They brushed our hair to look like theirs. The one who didn't care enough had few words and therefore few clues as to what made them tick, and the one who cared too much overshared and desensitized us, and ruined our sense of boundaries. They never wanted us, but convinced everyone that this was all they ever wanted. Life was not a gift. It was a contract. We got to live, but only under the conditions they decided. We signed the papers before we could read. If we did wrong, they blamed us, and if we did good, they took the credit. If we accused them, they would say we remembered it wrong. But who wants to remember it all? They called us idiot, and you're not our child, and when we stood up for ourselves, they choked us and pretended it was our fault. The lie of an abuser that festers inside us and makes us feel ashamed the rest of our lives, that gnaws on our future relationships like termites in the floorboards, destroying the foundation of what we could have. Worse than that, it's a sickness, this trauma. This never-ending damage, this baggage, this filth. It has ruined us, and this trauma has made us suspicious of others, paranoid, and has made us fear any loss of control in our adult relationships as a threat. We have built up this venom that poisons those around us. And dear God, what if it happens to us as well? What if we become the one who didn't care enough, or the one who cared too much? Is that what happened to them? Is there a way out? Or are we cursed like in so many ghost stories? If the trauma of childhood is the work of the devil, then becoming a parent yourself is like being possessed by him, forced to continue the cycle, and probably failing. What if we harm the innocents? What if we become like all the others? What if their blood will make us like them even if their words did not? The fear of hereditary is strong. At least we got out, though. We escaped, and we didn't look back, and we are all the better for it. The cycle that could make us the one who didn't care enough or the one who cared too much continues, but at least we scorched the earth and burned the bridge on our way out. They pointed weapons at their own heads and said, "Don't leave," and manipulated us into staying long enough to poison us. But they couldn't hold it to their heads forever. They got tired, and we got stronger. They themselves can't hurt us anymore. Only their ghost can hurt us now.